Jankowski on a dive, and he got it! Grand slam for Jonah High! 2 runs scored, and the Rangers lead in the ninth. And Seager has driven in 5 runs tonight.
Welcome into Rangers Report, presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. What a difference a month can make. August started off strong with an 8-game win streak at home, followed by some recent struggles on the road. In September, the Rangers will push for the postseason with full force, but now with 3-time Cy Young winner and 8-time All-Star Max Scherzer leading the charge. Welcome to Texas, Max.
Max Scherzer making his Rangers debut. Right-hander winds it up, and off we go.
Mad Max joined the Rangers at the trade deadline and immediately showed his resilience, striking out 9 in his first outing, the most for a Rangers pitcher in their debut since 1989.
Third base side of the rubber, the left foot in the middle as he winds. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Cutter down and in. Gets the chase from Sheets. Scherzer struck out 3 straight going back to the 5th, and he's got 9 strikeouts.
Scherzer's intensity and competitive personality is one that's admired yet feared on Scherz days. Here's Rangers first baseman Nathaniel Lowe on his experience sharing a clubhouse with Mad Max.
He comes the other day, and you don't talk to him on a start day. He's very serious about it.
Super intense.
Oh my God!
Like, how much would I have to pay you to say something? Nah, there's no
point. There's no point. There's no point. And he said it great. He said, I'm not gonna rip your head off, but just don't waste my time if it's not relevant to winning the game that day. I get 1 day a week to try and win the game. I get 4 other days to mess around. Come hang out. Say whatever you want those other 4 days, but when I am working, we are trying to win, and that's all I care about.
On August 20th, during his 4th start for Texas, Scherzer surpassed Hall of Famer Phil Niekro and moved into the 11th spot on the all-time MLB career strikeout list.
Well, there's an elevated fastball, and Max Scherzer now all alone in 11th place on the all-time strikeout list.
Team camaraderie is one of the key characteristics of this season's success. Outfielder Travis Jankowski talks about how camaraderie has elevated their performance on the field this season. Travis, it seems like you've really found your stride here in Texas this season. Approach-wise, how have you been able to stay so consistent on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, to me, I think, offensively, it's having really good hitting coaches. With Donnie, with Tim, and with Seth, it's one of those things where obviously throughout a season, you're going to kind of lose your swing. But they've done a great job at when I lose my swing, they get it back, in a limited time. If it's 3 days, if it's a week. Whereas previously, I've been searching for a swing for up to 2-3 weeks at a time, and it's a feeling that's just helpless. So yeah, our hitting coaches do a great job kind of figuring out what's going on when we go through our little ruts, and also Boch. Boch is one of the best managers I've ever played for. He just he truly cares about the player succeeding and puts you in the best position to succeed. You mentioned working for Boch. As a player and just that dynamic between the two of you, how has he strategically helped your game this season the most? It's been huge. Like I said, I think he truly understands kind of the baseball mentality. He understands that we're human beings, not a simulation in a computer. So not that the analytics are wrong and that he doesn't look at the analytics, but he also trusts his gut. And he's managed over 4,000 games, won 3 rings, won over 2,000 games, so his gut's usually pretty right. You've been so effective when it comes to tracking in the outfield. You've had some next to impossible leaping and diving catches this season. What is the #1 thing you've been working on defensively that has allowed you to be so consistent? Yeah, for me, it's the first step. So kind of my routes have always been good. I was an outfielder from the time I was 5 years old. Even in T-ball, they put me out there because I was fast. And then being a wide receiver, I always kind of figured out, the depth perception on a pass and kind of where I need to be to run under the ball. So I always struggled with kind of my first step. And Will kind of got me a pre-pitch routine, kind of one of those, kind of the same routine as hitting. You have your timing on, when you're in the box off the pitcher, you get your timing in the outfield off the pitcher as well. And it's just kind of flowing into a position where I can kind of be explosive on my first step. You're leading the Rangers currently in stolen bases, and you're also in the top 8 for American League outfielders in stolen bases as well. What is your mentality when you're getting on base that allows you to be so aggressive on the base paths? Yeah, for me, there's a lot of homework you have to do. It's studying pitchers on the iPad. It's figuring out which pitchers you can run off of, looking at certain counts as to where it might be an off-speed pitch. But for me, that's kind of something I was just always gifted with, you know, just kind of having that anticipation, that speed, and you know, kind of that feel for when to steal and have a high success rate stealing.
This season has been one of the most incredible in Rangers history, and you've been a huge part of it. We talked offline before this, and you mentioned this is one of the most fun teams you've ever been a part of. Can you just speak to what's happening in the Rangers clubhouse right now that makes it so special? Yeah, to me, that goes back to CY. You know, CY and Boch and the entire front office kind of not only getting good, talented players, but good human beings. This clubhouse, you know, we talked a minute ago, and I said that we have team dinners, and there's, you know, consistently 20 to 24 guys there, and usually the guys who can't make it, it's because their family's in town and they don't want to leave their wife and kids in the hotel and hang out with the guys. So that's something that usually teams have kind of cliques. You know, these 5 guys hang out here, these 6 guys hang out here. With us, it's 26 guys hanging out together. It's really just kind of love for everyone in that room. You know, it's a really cool vibe. It reminds me of something kind of similar to a high school feel or a college feel, where you're always together, always around, and building that vibe. So yeah, CY and Boch and the front office have done a great job getting good personalities and good team chemistry in there. Well, congratulations on all of your success, both on and off the field. Appreciate the time. Yes, thank you, Hannah. The vibes are up on the field and in the stands. Let's head to section 133, where Rangers Nation founder Jake Dupre talks about what made their viral fan takeover so successful. Jake, you started Rangers Nation when you were 11 years old. That was about 9 years ago. How have you seen that page evolve into what it is now?
I mean, it's wild. I mean, especially with the Rangers being so good right now, it just keeps on growing. It's just snowballing right now. And like you said, I started when I was 9 years old. I'm coming on 10 years this January, so I've gone through it all, the losing, the winning, and right now it's just amazing. It's an amazing time to be a Rangers fan. Where did you get your love for Rangers baseball? You know, I mean, I was just 8, 9 years old during those World Series runs in 2010, 2011, and I just came to love the Rangers. Josh Hamilton's my favorite player. I love the Rangers from a very young age. Something very special was born thanks to you and some help on the internet. Can you walk me through that process of how everything started from start to finish? Yeah, so we were inspired by like a big fraternity that was out here a couple weeks beforehand, and we just thought that we could do something like that. We could bring a bunch of fans together, get super excited, just be rowdy, root for the Rangers. So I teamed up with Caden Fouch on TikTok. His username's Cowboy2K, and we just got together. We assembled a bunch of Rangers fans together and decided to come out and just be loud and rowdy for the Rangers. This just shows the dominance of social media, because you did all of this between TikTok and Instagram. How many people did you have out, and how much of that was from social media? I think all of it was from social media. We had about 250 people the first time, but people from other sections started migrating over here during the game. So by the end of it, I think we had 400 or 500 people, and it was awesome. Rangers manager Bruce Bochy said that the team took note of how wild and fun this section was. You were doing the roll call, you had all these chants and signs prepared. For those that weren't here on August 15th, can you set the scene of what exactly was going down? It was just a huge party out here. I mean, it was awesome. Everybody was having a great time. It was the most fun I've ever had at a Rangers game. I've heard from many other people in the section it was the most fun they've ever had at a Rangers game, because it was just a party environment out here. We're just yelling, getting rowdy, just getting super excited. Before this interview started, we talked about how people from different fan bases and even states are reaching out and wanting to come to the next meetup. What does that mean to you? It's so crazy that this movement has gone like to other states, because I've had people from like New York, Seattle, Washington, Boston all reach out telling me they're gonna get on a plane and come here to be a part of our next outing. So it's amazing that it's gone like to that level. So it seems like September 18th is going to be the next big game. Can you plug anything that's happening where people can get more information? Yeah, on September 18th, that's our next outing. We already have 500 tickets sold. We've sold out 133 and 132 now, so we're working towards 131. And if you just follow my page, Rangers.Nation on Instagram, I have all the info on there. We're gonna be passing out 500 free shirts, so we're all matching, 500 free rally towels, and 500 free Rangers Nation cowboy hats made of foam. So we're all gonna be in uniform, and it's gonna be awesome. Save me a cowboy hat, that sounds like a lot of fun. Got you. So going forward, this has been obviously a huge movement within just the past couple of weeks. Where do you hope to take this one day? Well, I hope that the entire stadium just gets loud and rowdy. I hope this like creates an entire culture change for the Rangers and makes everybody super proud and passionate to be a Rangers fan, makes the ballpark just an electric feel every single time we play, and have a playoff atmosphere every single time that the Rangers go out there. You can get a seat in the most energetic part of the park at the link on the screen. Be sure to follow Rangers Nation on Instagram for more updates, and with this month ahead, get ready to bring the energy.
August has shown the power of momentum. I sat down with catcher Mitch Garver to talk about this team's focus on a successful postseason run in the first since 2016. All right, Mitch, what an exciting season the Rangers have had so far, and you've had quite the season offensively. You've already surpassed last year's numbers in RBIs, hits, and total bases. What has been the #1 thing that has clicked for you so well at the plate this year?
I would just say consistency. Getting at bats has been huge for me. It was a little unfortunate when Jonah went down, but I had the opportunity to step in for the time being, kind of pick up those at bats and just try to continue the good work that he's done so far. So just getting those at bats, being more comfortable, playing in the stadium, playing for the Rangers, right? It's the second year that I've been here. And then also I have a really great lineup around me. So I mean, if I don't do so well the first day, everybody else around me is going to pick me up.
This is your second season with Texas. What has been the biggest shift mentality-wise from 2022 to 2023?
Well, obviously the big improvements to our pitching staff has been probably the biggest thing for us. Once we improved that, we already had the talented position players, and we've added a few guys here and there that have plugged in and done really, really good things for us. The players have all been here. It's just a matter of us clicking on the same page and really buying into the mentality that we have to stay on attack mode, you know, score a bunch of runs, win games, and just create that culture of winning.
When you think of Max Scherzer, you think of intensity. He's the most intense player in all of baseball, and that's something that this clubhouse hasn't seen in quite a while. How does his intensity impact the vibe in the overall clubhouse and just the overall morale of this team? You
know, I think on his start days in particular, guys are expected to be their best, and I think that's how it should be for every day, right? I know 162 games is a lot of games, and it's really hard to maintain that consistency throughout a whole year. But the way he brings about energy is it elevates everybody's game, and that's the way it should be. You mentioned earlier on stepping in a massive way when Jonah was out for 2 weeks with a wrist injury. How did you capitalize on such a big opportunity there? It's something that I've done before. You know, I've been a starting catcher in this league. I've caught 5 to 6 games a week. I've played on a playoff team where I'm the starting catcher. It's something that I'm used to, and it's something that I feel comfortable doing. I like leading a pitching staff down a playoff stretch, and you know, it was kind of an opportunity for me to kind of improve on what I've been doing. You know, I haven't had the real opportunity to play like myself over the past 2 years, and you know, the past 2 or 3 weeks has given me that opportunity. You and Jonah are quite the duo. You both have combined for over 100 RBIs this season. How do you play off of each other when you're both in the lineup? Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, just from a game planning perspective for opposing teams, it's really hard if the opposing catchers are putting up 100 RBIs combined. You know, there's not a lot of holes in our lineup, and I think that makes everybody in our lineup so dangerous because you can plug in whoever you want on that certain day and you're going to get some production. You have been a catcher in a playoff position. What mentality-wise does that change for you, knowing that the game just means so much more at that point? Yeah, it's, you know, my first taste at playoff baseball was in 2019, and you know, the intensity of it is a little bit different. Those games mean so much more, and every single pitch matters. And I think, you know, hopefully we can get to that spot this year where we're in the playoffs, but I'll have a little bit better understanding of how to prepare for something like that, how to rise to the occasion, how to, you know, help others around me as well, because you know, there's a lot of guys in that clubhouse who have played in the playoffs, but there's quite a bit who have not. So it's always going to be a balance. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of the way. Thank you. It's going to be an exciting AL West race in September. Every game counts. I'll see you at the ballpark.